Hi, I'm Gerard Bourne,
I'm Chase Gisbert.
and this is the Lions Den Sports Talk podcast, hosted by the Lions Journal newspaper of student publications here at Southeastern Louisiana University. We're a fully ran student organization, and so this is our first ever podcast. This week we'll go over some stardom sit-ems this week for fantasy football, kind of recap Week 5 of NFL, and we're also going to talk about the MLB playoffs as the show moves along. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
You excited?
I'm very excited.
So, what's your fantasy team kind of looking like so far, Chase? What's your record?
I started off 0-1, but the bounce back has been real.
Yes.
I've won 4
He actually
straight.
got fantasy advice from the
I
fantasy
did. Ever
godfather,
since
me.
I changed my name because I do have Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb as my first round pick. Kareem's Chubb. Very family-friendly name.
There you go. My team name is the Sacred Lambs because we drafted CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb's been up and down this year, though. But
when he's on, he is on.
He's a baller, certified baller. So who's kind of been your surprise so far for fantasy this year?
Just on my team, negative surprise has been Miles Sanders. I know wasn't like a sure thing, but I mean, he was the Eagles starting running back. I spent a 4th round draft pick on him. Week 1 was okay. Ever since then, he's not even playable right now, so that has definitely been disappointing.
Are you in an 8 or a 12 team league?
I'm in a 12-team league too. So
my big surprise positive this year has been he's not on my team. I didn't draft him on purpose. Was Joe Mixon? Remember how bad Joe Mixon was last year? Mm-hmm. He was drafted in the first round.
He's been very injury prone too.
He's been injury prone. He's been hit or miss, but he's been balling out this year. You could have used a first round draft pick on him.
I think Jamar Chase, obviously Burrow, but Chase has really helped their offense a lot.
Chase really does open up their offense. You also have Tyler Boyd there. You got to watch out for
T. Higgins,
C.J. Uzma. That the Bengals have surprised me too. Speaking of surprises,
they're a good young team.
Yeah, but negative surprises so far, I definitely have to agree with you. Miles Sanders, he hasn't been really that good.
Yeah, I know I see a lot of people in like TikTok because
I know who you're about to say.
Page, Brandon Ayuk.
Yes, Brandon Ayuk. He's only caught 7 balls this year.
Are you serious?
Out of
He's supposed to be their
games.
number 1. Deebo Samuel has returned the 2019 form. So
Deebo is balling out, man.
If you have him, I'm sure you probably spent a very late pick on him. He's been worth
What about another TikTok trendy pick for running back Myles Gaskin? He's been terrible this year. But I mean, besides week
last
5,
week, I think
week 5 he had like 40 points, but still. But I mean, a lot of people use a second round draft pick on him.
Yeah, really? Second
round?
round?
A lot of people
did.
did.
Seems like a reach to me. I don't know if y'all are in a 12-team league, you probably still have to play him. I'd much rather him than Miles Sanders, to put it that way. But
definitely, of the two bads, I would definitely pick Myles Gaskin first.
Both the Miles is not doing too hot.
Right, yeah, dude. They're not running for a lot of miles. How you like that one, huh? So, who's your stardom sit-ems for week 6, dude?
I'm starting Devontae Smith. It's funny, I didn't even mean to, but I wound up picking 3 Eagles, and they've kind of had a rough season at this point. I have Goddard. I don't know if we mentioned that, but he's got COVID. So if
he
he's
just
your
came
tight
down.
end,
It was literally this morning that he caught COVID.
And the game is Thursday, by the way, versus Tampa Bay, so got to get that in your lineup to sit him before it locks in. But, yeah, I'm starting Smith. The Buccaneers got the 30th ranked pass defense.
That surprises me. But then again, all their cornerbacks are out. They literally signed Richard Sherman 2 weeks ago, and he started the game after they signed him.
Right.
So your stardom is Devontae Smith, and your sit-ems Dallas Goddard. Totally agree with you. I think that's a
sit Miles Sanders as well. Tampa Bay's front 7, and Kenneth Gainwell is kind of taking carries from him. You can't really start anyone in that Eagles backfield.
Right. Yeah, and because Jalen Hurts takes a lot of carries away too.
Honestly,
he's a dual threat.
Devontae Smith might be the only start-worthy player on the entire Eagles team right now.
I can't even name you that.
And he's my flex, and I'm not even too confident in that. But I mean, Buccaneers though. Obviously, Brady has been playing out of his mind.
Brady is like fine wine, dude. He's not aging.
It's ridiculous.
As a Saints fan, I'm so scared to face him. But as a football fan, I love to see it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But my stardom this week, we're kind of going to stay in that same game. Mine's being the opposite side of the team. Leonard Fournette, Lambeau Lenny against that Philadelphia defense. Philadelphia's defense has been atrocious ever since they won the Super Bowl. Lambeau Lenny, he went off last week against the Dolphins, man. He had a rushing touchdown and a lot of rushing yards, so I'm going to definitely start him this week. But my sit-em this week, we're going to stay in that running back position. It's going to be James Conner against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's front 7 is just so dominant. You have Miles Sanders up there, so I would definitely stay away from starting James Conner this week. I know we're not experts, but I mean, statistics don't lie. The Cleveland Browns have an awesome defense.
You also have Chase Edmonds in the mix there, too.
Right. So that's a running back by committee in Arizona. And another thing, what we just talked about, that dual threat quarterback, Kyler Murray, he's to take away some of the rushing yards and take away some of those rushing attempts.
They got in a shootout with the Chargers last week. I know the Cardinals are high octane. But I think there's too many mouths to feed in Arizona that really trust him. But
definitely, Arizona's been one of those places where you either struck gold or you struck out down there because I listened to TikTok, of course. Again, we're talking about TikTok fantasy football. I picked up Rondale Moore week 3. And week 3 he had like 2.1 points, so then I dropped him immediately.
Yeah. I've gone between picking up Rondale Moore, Christian Kirk, and AJ Green. And every time I picked them up, they had went off. And then, of course, the week I picked them up, they finished with like 2 points. It's just like Russian roulette with them 3.
There's no true wide receiver 2,
it's just DeAndre Hopkins. And even him, he's hit or miss
too this year,
because there's just so many weapons on that offense. Kyler Murray's been but he has been a beast. He's been for sure.
He's been a QB 2 or 3,
fantasy player on that for the Cardinals.
That's the problem with the Cardinals. There's no true wide receiver 2. It's just kind of by committee after D-Hop. Now D-Hop last season, dude, he was an awesome pick, man. That Hail Mary catch against Buffalo.
And I had Kyler Murray last year, and no, I don't have him this year. No hard feelings, but he didn't do terrible, but he was doing the same thing, and then he kind of tailed off at the end of the year, which
I remember that because he had MVP odds.
He was balling like midway through the season. Hopefully, I think he has with Rondale Moore and AJ Green as well. I mean, they have 4 legit receivers. I don't know if I see that this year. And the Cardinals are still undefeated. They're a
Do you think they're contenders or pretenders?
I said pretenders. We were talking about it a week or 2 ago, but they just keep winning, and their defense is a lot better than I thought.
I'm just not really sold on them, man. I'm not really sold because I have this belief in the NFL. It's totally different than any other sports. You have to have a good blend between vets and young guys.
Yeah.
And to me, it's kind of hard when your quarterback's a young guy and your coach is a young guy. They do have a good amount of vets on the defensive side of the ball.
Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt on that D-line.
But I think as the season progresses, another thing I learned as an NFL fan, you never bet against Tom Brady. I feel like Tom Brady's definitely going to ruin that party sometime in the postseason.
Yeah.
So if I had to say right now, they're contenders, but I say as late November comes around, they'll be definitely contenders.
I think you got to say they're contenders. We're only 5 games through. I think they'll make the playoffs, though. They've already got a pretty nice lead. The Rams are 4-1, but both of them should make the playoffs. Seattle's done. Seattle's done for the season. And San Fran's 2-3 as well. So that's a lot of ground to make up. They should make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to make the Super Bowl, but they could be a scary out in the playoffs with Kyler Murray in that offense. So.
Definitely. I think if you have anybody from Seattle's offense, definitely drop or try to trade because Russell Wilson's out.
I forgot about that. How long is he out for?
He's about 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
Geno Smith has to be the worst quarterback on an NFL roster right now.
I forgot he even existed, to be honest.
So they're rolling with him. Funny. They came out Monday and said he's their new starting QB.
Wow.
The Saints play him in 2 weeks. Saints have a bye week this coming week. But I cannot wait to play Seattle.
Their defense is atrocious
Their
as well.
defense
Seattle.
is garbage. Yeah, their defense couldn't stop a nosebleed.
Who do they play? Do they have a bye this week or they play this week?
No, they who do they play this week?
Because we could name stardom for almost any team, any impact players on any offense that's facing Seattle this year.
I know our bye week teams this week. We have 4.
They're playing the Steelers. Najee Harris, Deontay Johnson. I'd start both of them in a heartbeat.
Definitely. But I would, in a weird way, I would
Even
not
Claypool,
start. I wouldn't start Big Ben though. Does that make a lot of sense to you? I would start Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris because Najee Harris went off last week, but I would still sit because Big Ben just looked terrible this year.
Yeah, he's kind of too inconsistent. If you really are in desperate need and you're streaming a quarterback, he might not be a bad play.
He might not be if you're in a 12 or 16.
Juju is out for the year though, which definitely is going to really hurt that offense, but. They do still have Claypool and Johnson. I would start both of them as flexes. And even Johnson's almost been like a wide receiver 2 this year. And then Harris is a no-brainer. You got to start him.
Definitely. And, of course...
and Steelers' defense, too, maybe because of Seattle with Geno Smith.
Geno Smith to be thrown to the wrong color jersey the whole night. How many interceptions are you going to predict?
I'm going to say 3.
You say 3?
Over, under.
I'm going to be Vegas with this pick. I'm going to say over, under 2.5. What's your over, under? Under 2.5 picks or over 2.5?
I'm going over.
You're going over? He's going to be throwing that ball to the Steelers all night, dude. Hopefully he proves me wrong, but he's just a terrible quarterback. He was one of those guys growing up.
Fitzpatrick is going to have a field day.
He was one of those guys growing up that I thought, like, if he could be in the NFL, I could be in the NFL. You know what I mean? Even as a 4'8" little freshman.
Here you have it, Gerard Bourne, future NFL quarterback.
Huge gunslinger right here. That's my QB type. Gunslinger, just air the ball out. I could probably throw the rock
I'd like
90
to
yards.
Throw it on the run.
Scramble throw.
See, I'm a lanky. I play baseball. I never had the strongest arm, though. I just don't know what it is. I mean,
I haven't thrown the ball in a while. I haven't thrown the ball in a while, but I've been hitting the gym. I have a rocket, dude. I could probably out-throw Josh Allen. What you think?
That's
easy.
A tall order. I mean,
it's easy, dude.
I'd have to put my money on Josh, but I'd really love to see that, man.
That's so sad. That's so sad. But no, definitely stay away from anybody with Seattle.
One person. No, never mind. We can't talk about them.
Yeah. But so who's been your surprise teams so far in this season?
I mean, Cardinals is an obvious one. I'm trying to think of one maybe a little bit more. Maybe the Bengals.
The Bengals. Yeah. They're 3-2, but they should have won. Let's talk about that game last week.
That was an insane game. I watched the highlights actually on YouTube. Tell me if I'm wrong. So, the Bengals missed a field goal.
There were 7 missed field goals in the fourth and overtime. In the fourth quarter.
Green Bay, did he miss 3 or 4?
Crosby missed 3. Yeah. Crosby missed 3. McPherson for Cincinnati missed all his field goals, and they both mixed extra points.
Wow.
So they left, but they left each 12 points on the board, if I'm doing my math correctly. Not a math major.
Now, in McPherson, I watched the highlights. I'm pretty sure his misses were like from 45 plus. Which I know it's the NFL, but yeah, Crosby did wind up making the game winner, but I mean, Rodgers really just kept getting them back down there. Him and Adams were on fire as usual.
Now, Crosby had a game like that a couple seasons ago, if I'm mistaken correctly, against the Vikings, where he missed like 5 field goals and they still came back and won. So Mason Crosby's he's been awesome his whole career, but he's definitely been one of those guys that I hold my breath on if I'm a Packers fan.
Kicking the game in the field goal. You get -1 or 2 for a miss?
It just depends on league settings. It's definitely -1, I think, for mine.
Okay.
Because I had Graham Gano last week when they played the Saints. I don't want to talk about that game. And he missed one, and he had -0.
Yeah. Freaking Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones balled out, man.
Yeah, he did.
He got rocked up this week too, man. He got roughed up, dude.
I feel you got to feel for him. His O-line's already shaky. Saquon's gonna be out for who knows how long. You got they're 3 top receivers. Tony has emerged and he's looking like a stud, but outside of him, I mean, you got Sterling Shepard, Kenny Galladay, and Darius Slayton, all 3 out right now. So
how do you like Kadarius Toney's grill? How sweet is that thing, dude?
It is.
He has a top piece and a bottom piece.
I don't want to like be one of those guys, stereotypical, like, oh, somebody starts balling out, you're like, oh, I've always liked this dude, but I always knew who he was on Florida because I'm a huge SEC college football fan,
right?
And I always knew he was really good, so I'm not too surprised, but.
He has the most craziest lateral movements I think I've ever seen.
His stop-start is insane.
I would not want to have to break down against him. He could juke both of us out in this room, which isn't very big. I don't think we could lay a finger on him. He would tear both my ACLs 3 times. Yeah. So before we transition to baseball, talking some MLB playoffs, who are your 7 teams at the AFC going to make the playoffs, and who are your 7 teams at the NFC who are going to make the playoffs?
Let me take a look. Let's see.
So my NFC teams, this is no particular order, just kind of name them off the top of my head. I'll name division winners first. Okay, of course, at the NFC East, you have the Cowboys. Yeah. If they don't win that division, something's wrong.
They are. A lot of people slander on the Cowboys, and I know you said
I'm a loyal Saints fan, so I get to slam the Cowboys whenever, you know. But definitely for me at the NFC East, the Cowboys. NFC North, I hate them, but the Packers, you know.
Since they lost to the Saints, they're 4.
They're balling out.
They've done what my fantasy team's done. Lay an egg week 1 and 4 straight wins.
Now, the NFC West is where it gets crazy, and this is where I think the Cardinals start to choke and slow down. I have the Rams winning that division.
That's definitely the safest pick. Yeah. I think they're a more complete team, top to bottom.
And they just have that good blend that I talked about. They have a veteran quarterback, a coach that's been there before, a coach knows what he's doing, and their defense, dude.
Yeah, you got Jalen Ramsey. They literally have the best corner and the best D lineman.
I would not want to be a finger around Aaron Donald because he has a thing for fingers. Took Drew's finger and he took Russell Wilson's finger last week, so definitely not that. And the big one at the NFC South, I mean, of course, as a Saints fan, I want them to win.
You got to go Tampa Bay.
But you got to go Tampa Bay, dude. They're literally a Pro Bowl team. They have Giovanni Bernard, Leonard Fournette, Rojo, Mike Evans, Chris Scott. They're just so stacked.
Antonio Brown
on both sides of the ball. Antonio Brown,
he
too.
went off last week.
He's a good fantasy pickup, too, if you're an 8-man.
And Gronk, he has a punctured lung and broken ribs, but when he's back healthy, him and Brady's connection's undeniable.
So who are your 3 wildcard teams at the NFC?
I'll say the Saints. Right now.
The Saints definitely going to make the wild card.
I think we are, because our defense is
so good.
They are elite.
Yeah.
Every single level of that defense is very good. If Jameis just doesn't turn the ball over, which is not guaranteed, but I think Peyton's done a good job of kind of being conservative and you just using Kamara and using the time of possession and leaning on that defense. But yeah, I think we'll make the wild card.
I can see us making it as a 6 or a 7 seed.
Yeah, that's about what
I definitely wouldn't want to be the 7 seed because then that means we'll probably have to travel up north for a playoff game.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, if I had to pick the wild card, so I agree with you on the division winners. I think Arizona, if they don't win the division, I think I'd probably go with
They're
the
going to be a high
Rams,
wild card.
They'll definitely make the wild card. And then you got one more spot. Honestly, it's still early. I could see the Niners. They're only 2-3, but they're still a very good team. Trey Lance is getting this.
This is where I disagree with you.
I feel like they could sneak in and get the 7.
This is where I disagree with you. I think the Vikings are going to get that last spot, dude. The Vikings, they've been up and down this season, but they always, as a Saints fan, they always scare me. You know, I'm one of those guys that believe that record isn't true.
Dalvin Cook is, isn't he out right now?
Right now, he battled a little injury last week, but he's
the
been
Bears
decent.
are 3-2.
But we know the Bears. Their offense.
I have Justin.
My
Fields
middle school football
fantasy,
team's offense is way better than the Bears' offense. Matt Nagy should not have an NFL job right now. So who are your AFC division winners?
Buffalo, no brainer.
Who do you have at the AFC West? You think the Chiefs are going to be able to secure that or no?
No, I think the Chargers.
The Chargers are hot right now. That's a team I'd buy on definitely.
They've got what?
They're 4-1.
They're 4-1. The Chiefs are 2-3.
The Chiefs just look so bad.
They'll definitely bounce back and make the playoffs, and no one's going to want to play them with Mahomes and all the Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, obviously. But they are struggling right now. I'd say my division winners kind of just go with chalk: Buffalo, Baltimore, Tennessee, and I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I think wild card Chiefs.
Gotta have the Browns
AFC
in there.
North is
Gotta
looking
have
nice.
the Browns in there.
And then honestly,
I know what you're about to say.
Joe Burrow, the Bengals might sneak in there as the 7th seed. I mean, that would be awesome too for Louisiana. I'd pull for them in a heartbeat in the AFC. Besides,
so I agree with most of your teams, but I actually have the Browns winning the AFC North. Just because I feel like I know it's the Browns and they can't win anything. They can't even win a volunteer prize. Yeah. But definitely the Browns.
They have a nice squad though this year.
Dude, their defense is so good. And
they could win the Super Bowl, really.
And that 2-headed monster at running back is something to stay away from.
Their biggest thing is receivers not the best, and then Baker. They kind of like their run game bails him out, I feel like, but he needs to play like he did in college his Heisman year if they want to do anything in the playoffs.
Or last year he was pretty good too, or his rookie season. But I definitely agree with you. Baker's that guy. He's their last gadget guy. Like if everything's burned down to the ground, he'll get to throw the ball here and there.
I think Jarvis Landry's a big loss. Isn't he out for the year? Right?
Him and Odell's just been so terrible.
Yeah, he hasn't even got the ball much. I mean, they just got to utilize him.
He had 2 catches last week in a 42-point game. So.
And Njoku went off.
David Njoku did
I'm actually going to send in a bid for him in fantasy because Goddard's out with COVID. I need a tight end to start, and it's kind of a shot in the dark. He hasn't done much, but besides last week. But I mean, he might. It's worth it. Tight end is so thin.
So, like I said, for my AFC predictions, I have out the AFC North. I have the Browns winning that. But 3 teams out of that division are going to make the playoffs. This will be the Browns, Bengals, and Ravens. The only thing I don't like about the Bengals is their head coach.
Really?
When he got hired, he was one of those guys that I don't know how he got the job, but I just think that definitely the Bengals at the AFC West, Chargers. Now, just be in mind the Chiefs. They got to pick it up soon, man. Because
they're 2-3.
There's 3 wild card spots, and I said 3 AFC North teams are going to make it. So you just got to be weary of that.
Well, one of those will be a division winner, so
right.
But then
so maybe the Chiefs get that last one. But I'm telling you, people have kind of figured out Pat Mahomes and our offense ever since the Tampa Bay Super Bowl game. Am I right?
Yeah,
Put 2 high safeties and you stop them from there on.
Yeah.
So now let's
their defense is a bigger issue than me, obviously.
Their defense
is terrible.
Their defense.
Besides, outside of
Sorensen has to be the worst NFL starter.
Matthew, he was like this. Like
he has to be the worst NFL starter I've ever seen.
Outside of Tyrann Mathieu and Chandler Jones, I don't know if I'm missing anyone. I don't follow the Chiefs that much.
Frank Clark and Chris Jones. Chris Jones.
Okay, yeah. Chris Jones, Tyrann Mathieu are both beasts, and then Clark's pretty good. But outside of that, I can't even name really.
I can't name you
else.
one. I can name you that rookie
their
linebacker.
Secondary has been awful. So
yeah, their secondary's.
Really,
they got a lot of Louisiana boys in that team too, and that's just kind of sad thing. They have Jarius Sneed. He went to La Tech.
Yeah.
They have Honey Badger.
He had a good rookie year last year.
He had a really good rookie year. He's just been kind of missing this year.
Yeah.
But let's kind of transition to baseball. So, what's your thoughts on the baseball playoffs so far?
I love October baseball, playoff baseball. Who doesn't? But I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch too much in the regular season. Let me go look at.
That's kind of how everybody is. Not a lot of people. Not a lot of whole people watch during probably August to September, just because football comes back into play. But my team, the Tampa Bay Rays, they lost last night.
I was about to say, I don't want to strike a nerve, but they were
that disappointed me. They were number 1 seed in the AL. They had
the damn Boston, man.
Boston's hot.
Every time they make the playoffs,
they're gonna win it all. They're gonna win it all.
They're
so hot. To me, I'm literally one of those stereotypical. When you get to the playoffs, your regular season record does not matter at all.
It doesn't. Yeah, it really doesn't.
And dude, they were so good against Tampa Bay. I couldn't even be mad as a Tampa Bay fan. Besides me being mad at the Tampa Bay manager Kevin Cash, I couldn't be mad. They were so good. Christian Vasquez hit that walk-off home run in Game 3. And I knew from there that they're going all the way. So that's my AL team. Whoever they play,
they really could.
Whoever they play is in trouble out the White Sox and Astros.
The Astros are actually up 6-1 as we speak, looking to put that series away. I'd say I would go with Astros.
You think the Astros are gonna come out of the AL?
Yeah,
I think the Astros are cursed. I think
that's gonna go to Game 7 then.
That ALCS.
Yeah,
I'm calling it right now. When I'm 80 years old, we're gonna come back on this podcast and we're gonna watch this. I think the Astros have a new curse. Remember how the Cubs had the GOAT curse?
Yeah.
Well, I believe they have the trash can curse now. I believe they're not going to win anything for 100 years. Watch it. Vegas. Be placing bets. So I have the Red Sox coming out to AL. Now, who do you have coming out to NL?
That's more interesting. The Giants and the Dodgers play tonight, and the Giants are up 2-1.
Right? The Giants have been the surprise team of any sport.
So the Dodgers have got to win 2 straight or they're out. They're defending champs.
And they have the highest payroll in the MLB. That's what blows my mind.
The Braves are up 2-1 on Milwaukee. They just started. It's still 0-0 top of the first.
I thought the Brewers were going to win that series, but the Brewers have been struggling.
I'd go with Braves. I mean, they're up 2-1. Last year it was Braves-Dodgers. I'm going to go Braves-Giants.
Braves-Giants?
And then I'm going to pick Giants-Astros for my World Series.
Giants-Astros. I have Giants-Red Sox, and I have Red Sox winning it in 6. Like I said, Boston's just so hot right now. And then they absolutely, I love this game. They smoked the Yankees in the AL wildcard game.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Because I'm a true Yankee hater.
I was expecting come down to the last batter type thing.
That thing was over by the 6th inning. But definitely, I agree with you. I think the Giants are going to come out to NL. They've just been the surprise team this year. And I want them to win because, like I said, I'm a Rays fan, and they have longtime Rays third baseman Evan Longoria. So,
how's he been doing? He's their third baseman.
He hit the go-ahead home run last night at bottom of the 5th. Well, top of the 5th, and that game was a 1-0.
You got to love Buster Posey, though.
I love Buster Posey, man. And Mike Yaz out in outfield, dude. That team's definitely been the surprise.
I'm gonna pick them to win it all.
Really, the Giants?
I think they'll beat the Astros in 6. I'll say.
This dude loves the Astros. Why do you love the Astros?
I don't love the Astros, dude, look at their team. I mean,
I think they have a curse.
Man.
I literally think they have a curse.
I know their lineups always stacked.
You have Altuve,
pitching.
Brantley.
Obviously, it's got to be good. I just, like I said, I don't keep up like I used to, but yeah, they got Bregman, Altuve, Brantley, Alvarez, Correa's their freaking 6-hole. I mean, really.
So who's your MVP pick for the AL this year? You think it's Shohei or Vladdy? Because that's the only 2 that it could be, honestly.
Yeah.
Who would you pick?
Definitely Shohei.
Shohei balled out this year, dude. He had an uncharacteristic year.
He's like the modern day Babe Ruth. It's insane.
Definitely. I don't think his pitching was as good as people hyped it up to be.
It's just the fact that he could do both.
Just the fact that he could do both. He still had a 9-2 record. His ERA was a little bit on the higher side.
Right.
But still, that was amazing.
NL, I know. I'm a huge Phillies fan.
I have Bryce Harper winning the NL.
That's what I was gonna say. I think I saw.
He had a quiet year.
It was between him and who else? Do you know
I think it might have been Tatis.
Maybe, but he got hurt, so.
Yeah, Tatis was second half of the season.
Hopefully my Phils make it, man. I mean, since I was a little kid, they won in 2008. They had a good run there, but
who'd they beat that year?
Playoffs.
Who'd they beat
the Rays. Yeah. Then we lost to the damn Yankees the next year.
Yeah. But no, I definitely think the NL, that's an easy pick. That's Bryce Harper. It definitely would have been Tatis if Tatis didn't get hurt and the Padres would have made
They
the
were the most disappointing team this year.
They were so disappointing. They finished with a losing record.
Yes.
Yeah. You have Machado.
A lot of people picked them to
win it all.
Yes, they were like a dark horse to win it all and like challenge the Dodgers, and the Giants really stole their thunder.
You have Cronenworth, you have Tatis, you have Hosmer,
Machado.
You have Machado. You have Will Myers, Yu Darvish, Joe Musgrove.
Blake Snell from the Braves.
Blake Snell. You just have a stacked team, and they were terrible. So they just fired their manager, Jace Tingler. So,
deservingly so. I mean,
deservingly so.
I don't know how you go. Let me see.
If you can't
exact
coach
record.
that team to win, I don't know if you can coach anybody out.
Yeah, they finished 79-83.
That's just.
And I don't know.
Abysmal.
I know Tatis is arguably their best player, and he was out for a lot of the season. I don't know about their other injuries, but yeah,
you still have other studs on the team.
That's just not going to cut it at all.
Yeah, you still have studs on the team, but that is definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
So you said Giants, Red Sox, your World Series. What game do you think they take it to?
No, I said Giants, Astros.
Giants, Astros.
Yeah,
so
I think the Astros, Red Sox might be the best series of the playoffs.
That's going to be such a heated rivalry. That's going to be such a heated rivalry because you had the trash can incident.
Their former manager.
Right, exactly.
That's a great storyline. I have that one going 7. I think the Astros will pull it out, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if Boston won that.
I can't wait to hear Joe Buck calling these games.
Dude, he's so funny.
There's one thing about Joe Buck about me. I cannot stand him for an NFL football game. But I love him for baseball, dude. He brings the energy for baseball. He brings the energy.
I think he's just more suited because he's kind of lackadaisical, and baseball is more like. I played since I was a little kid.
It's an old time sport. It's been around for hundreds of years.
It's not like there's action. Obviously, I love it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like football. Like every play, every few seconds, there's action. Like there's more like moments where you're not doing anything.
I think for the rest of my life, I remember 2 games that Joe Buck called for baseball. It was Game 6 between the Dodgers and the Astros, the 2018 World Series. I think.
Yeah,
remember when the final score was like 15-14? Remember that? And then Game 7 of the Cubs and Indians.
Dude.
That was crazy. I almost cried, and I'm not even a Cubs fan.
I was so happy for the Cubs.
Me too. I would have been happy for either team because both teams. Yeah. Well, now we got to call them the Cleveland Guardians. But both teams.
I forgot. Wait, they changed their name for this season, or
they changed it for next season? So now that the Guardians. Do you know how they got that name? This will be my last thing before we wrap up. You don't know how they got the name Cleveland Guardians? So in Cleveland, there's this big bridge that goes over the river. And it's called the Guardian Bridge because they have these stone guardians on each side of the bridge, and that's how they got their name.
Wow.
Is that not the stupidest thing you've ever heard?
You
had such a good opportunity. You had the Cleveland Rock because Rock was born there. You could name them anything else. You named them the Cleveland Guardians.
I don't know. It's not the best name. I thought it was a lot worse when I first heard it. It's maybe grown on me some.
It's grown on you?
A little bit. But it still does kind of sound like a little childish to me.
It definitely ranks up there with the worst renamed teams. But you know who's the absolute worst renamed team?
The Washington football team.
No, because they're not technically renamed.
That wasn't even bad.
They're not that bad because a lot of soccer clubs do that. Yeah. The Pelicans. What?
Yeah.
When they named it, dude, I think I threw my phone. I was like 12 years old. I was like,
it is our state bird, but I mean, come on, the Pelicans.
A pelican? That's not intimidating. Have you seen the actual mascot at the games? That has to be the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
I don't really go to Pelicans games, but yeah, I mean, I don't see us winning anything being named that.
And it's such a memey name. Like, you can name us the Elikins because we lose all the time. But, like, the Pelicans.
Zion, it's going to be another AD. Hate to break to you. We're not talking about NBA, but we might in the next episode. Yeah. So definitely stay tuned. Next week, we'll have more sports talk for you. We'll have stardom sit-ems. We'll recap week 6. We'll have an update on the MLB playoffs. Because by then we should be in the ALCS, a couple games in. And thank you for watching with us today.